Epic Universe is opening in Orlando, Florida next summer, and we are on a mission to learn everything we can about Universal's third park gate. Let's take a deep dive together through everything that's been released for this new theme park area so far and unlock Universal's greatest mysteries before they're officially revealed. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Epic Universe has been the hot topic of the Orlando scene lately, but what makes this topic even juicier is knowing that we're only a year away from the grand opening of this third theme park gate. Epic Universe is slated to open later on in 2025, giving us just enough time to plan ahead and decide if we want to add this new destination to our future Florida itineraries. But before we can do that, we got to know what's actually going to be here, right? Universal has been releasing new information in little chunks at a time, and while some elements of the new park have been 100% confirmed by the Universal company, many more are still up in the air, leaving us to do some extra sleuthing and theorizing to piece together what we think is going to happen for the future of this park. Remember, while many of the things we're talking about today have been directly announced by Universal, other things might just be speculation on our end based on what we've seen in the concept art. So if Universal hasn't announced it directly themselves, all other concepts that we're discussing today should be considered theories instead of truths until proven otherwise, and we will keep you updated on which is which. Cool. Disclaimers out of the way now, so let's do some digging. First up, the big bad overview. Let's start off by taking a closer look at the concept art that Universal's been using the most when advertising their third gate, aka the aerial view across the entire Epic Universe area. So the first thing we can determine just by looking at this picture alone is how huge this park is going to be. Wow, great sleuthing there, AJ, right? I know, you're welcome, thank you. But seriously, we're looking at an entire resort that's going to be more than double the Universal Orlando area, spanning across 750 acres of land. Let's also note how this picture has a big road you can see off to the side in this aerial shot. Obviously, Epic Universe isn't going to be right next to the other two parks, Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. So where is it going to be? This is going to actually be closer to the Orange County Convention Center, which is about 2 miles from the current Universal Orlando Resort. To get to Epic Universe, you won't want to park at the main parking garages by Universal's other theme parks. Instead, you'll want to drive directly to the new park itself, where Universal has confirmed that there will be free transportation connecting the entire Universal Orlando Resort destination. A Brightline train station is also set to be built near Epic Universe, connecting the general area to the Orlando International Airport, which is awesome. Location aside, let's talk about the meat of this picture, all the different park portals within. We're going to talk about each of these new areas in depth throughout the course of this video as much as we can, but I want to talk about why these different portals are just the coolest things we've seen from Universal in a long time. Universal hasn't exactly been well known for its seamless park transitions in the past. You go to Islands of Adventure, for instance, and you walk from the colorful, wacky Toon Lagoon straight into the jarringly dark and desolate Skull Island area. Or you're in Universal Studios Florida, you can see the Revenge of the Mummy building while still standing inside Minion Land. While these areas are indeed highly immersive and creative, they still give you the feeling that you're in a theme park crossing from one area into the next. But with this new portal concept, looks like Universal is improving its ability to suspend disbelief in a whole new, highly immersive way by storytelling. Your adventure starts right when you enter the park through the Emerald Gate and Kronos device. This device, according to Universal lore, is used to harness the energy of the universe that powers all of Celestial Park, which is going to be the first area you're going to step into, kind of like the Main Street USA of Epic Universe. This device is also strong enough to open the portals to other worlds, which is why we have 4 other gateways that are so vastly different from one another in the same park. Once you walk through one of the portals, it won't matter which land you end up in, the transition will feel more seamless than before. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit and head to Celestial Park. This is one of the areas that has the most confirmed details by Universal as of now. This is the first area you're going to step into once you're through the Emerald Gate. Celestial Park is Epic Universe's central hub that not only serves as the in-between for when you're jumping from portal to portal, but will also have plenty of dining and rides and shopping opportunities itself. Once you enter Celestial Park, you'll be immediately immersed in what Universal describes as lush living gardens nestled along shimmering waters surrounded by stunning architecture that's inspired by astronomical and mythological elements. So many adjectives here. Okay, that sounds like a lot right from the get-go, and yet at the same time, it also sounds pretty zen. But let's set the zen aside for now and jump into the thrills for just a second. Celestial Park is going to be the home of the new high-speed attraction Starfall Racers. This is a dual-launch roller coaster designed to look like a wooden coaster without actually being a wooden coaster, to make sure the track provides a smooth ride even as the coaster ages. I live near Six Flags Over Texas, where we have a wooden coaster called the Texas Giant. Will rattle you for sure. So thank you, Universal, for making a not actually wooden coaster. Anyway, for every ride, there are going to be 2 vehicles that launch simultaneously and legit race each other around the tracks. The coaster is going to reach speeds up to 62 miles per hour, and the track will reach up to 133 feet high. In total, this is 5,000 feet of track, and you're going to be zipping along all starshiny-like. The ride vehicles are designed to look like comets that'll race along an inverted crisscross known as the Celestial Spin, in that display of blazing colors and ethereal music, again with the adjectives. So this ride sounds like it'll be thrilling whether you ride it by day or night, but I think it's going to be 10 times better once the sun sets. Universal shared that since the coaster will have no external track lighting at night, the fully illuminated ride vehicles appear as comets shooting across the night sky. That's cool. Oh, and here's a fun little detail for all you longtime Universal fans out there. When Universal was talking about this new ride, they mentioned that although they can't give away this Easter egg fully yet, there will be a gift for true Universal fans on the back of each coaster vehicle. Truly out of time. Sounds to me like we're going to possibly get some Back to the Future themed license plates on each of these ride vehicles, but we'll have to wait and see if that's for sure going to be the case. Now, there's a 48-inch height requirement for this ride, but there's not going to be a height requirement for the Constellation Carousel. That's also going to be opening at Celestial Park, so that one will be fun for the whole family. The Constellation Carousel is themed around, constellations, so the animals you can ride on the backs of will include creatures like celestial lions and dragons and peacocks and more, because I don't know what makes them celestial necessarily, or constellations, but whatever. Not for me to decide. So every animal rotates 360 degrees and lifts riders up 6 feet in the air, so definitely not your average carousel setup here. Universal further noted that the celestial music and color featured on the carousel will dazzle your senses. Oh my goodness, as you whirl and twirl together across the Milky Way. This PR language, I don't know, you guys. And make sure you look up during this ride. The ceiling of Constellation Carousel is a star tracker featuring rotating celestial star patterns with a center mesmerizer that creates a ribbon cone effect while you spin round and round. Honestly, that sounds kind of old schooly, which I kind of love. Along with these 2 rides, Celestial Park will also have an interactive wet play section, doubling as a giant compass rose for not just the celestial area, but for the whole park. This aquatic display will include dancing crystal blue fountains with water jets capable of reaching up to 135 feet in the air. And let's not forget about the food now. Celestial Park will also host 2 full-service restaurants. The first, Atlantic, is a sit-down surf and turf experience set inside a Victorian aquarium. And when I say Victorian aquarium, we're talking things like decorative fish that line the ceiling of the restaurant and are surrounded by metallic curtains that shimmer and create the illusion of being underwater in a massive tank. It's giving the stage that Ariel's sisters from The Little Mermaid performed on before realizing Ariel had ditched them to go treasure hunting, like fancy underwater vibes, but still open air. There'll also be a bar inside Atlantic where you can grab a cocktail at Aquaria Bar. Cheers. But if you're not in the mood for surf and turf, how's about some Pan-Asian cuisine instead? The Blue Dragon Pan-Asian restaurant will feature authentic Chinese, Japanese, and Thai food inside a bustling courtyard where it's always evening under the glow of still ethereal lanterns. Now, this spot looks very, very cool. I am loving the external decoration and that whole dragon situation. And there's another bar. It's a tiger bar inside the Blue Dragon, which you won't be able to miss thanks to the giant neon tiger pictured directly above it. But the decor in this new restaurant is going to be more than just pretty. It's going to have a lot of Easter eggs, or should we say dragon eggs. Universal said to be on the lookout while you dine because the signage hanging around the restaurant contains Easter eggs of Celestial Park you won't want to miss. Now, if you're looking for some faster eats, the Oak and Star Tavern will serve up barbecue and Pizza Moon will feature, pizza. Or if you've got a sweet tooth to satisfy, Moon Chip Chocolates and Celestial Sweets is where you're going to want to head for a quick desserty bite. Sounds really good. I know Universal hasn't always been my favorite place for fine cuisine. You can watch my video with my thoughts on my Universal dining. But I'm hopeful that the new restaurants we're hearing about will finally help me switch my script a little bit. You've asked for it and Universal has finally answered. We're getting a How to Train Your Dragon land. The Isle of Berk honestly sounds like it could be a whole park in and of itself. It's going to have rides, it's going to have restaurants, it's going to have an awesome stage show. And much like Celestial Park, Universal has confirmed a lot of the specifics for this dragon-infested area of the park. And honestly, I think this is my favorite one. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's the Harry Potter. Okay, I don't know. But anyway, this is going to be great. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the attractions announced. First, we've got Hiccup's Wing Gliders, a family thrill coaster where Hiccup is going to invite brave souls to take a ride in his latest glider contraption, a winged flying machine that launches aspiring dragon riders into the sky for a dragon's eye view of Berk. Guests will fly alongside Hiccup and Toothless and reach speeds up to 45 miles per hour as they soar around the perimeter of the area and even through the lagoon. Riders will need to be 40 inches tall to experience this coaster, but children under 48 inches must be accompanied by a supervising companion. For an all-ages ride that's bound to get you soaked, you can turn to Fire Drill. It seems the mischievous Viking twins, Rough Nut and Tough Nut, are recruiting teams of Vikings to compete and out-soak other Vikings on their Wet n Wild boat ride battle. Guests will board a colorful dragon-headed boat and blast water cannons at flame-like targets to practice putting out fires, a crucial skill to master when living with dragons. Bria has noted to me that this ride reminds her of the Tom and Huck's River Blast ride that she used to go on during the summers back in her home theme park, Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. And if that's the case, then we can expect to be bathtub drenched on this ride. Considering this is for all riders, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty slow going, meaning your Viking opponents across the way will have plenty of time to aim at you and shoot you with water over and over and over again, and vice versa. Be sure to get your revenge. And then we've got the final ride in this area, Dragon Racers Rally, where Berk's new Viking racers, that's you, can practice aerobatic maneuvers and high-speed barrel rolls on two Viking-made dragon riding trainers that reach heights of up to 67 feet in the air. Guests can control how wild or mild their experience will be as they perform high-flying, gravity-defying, swooping, and soaring skills that are necessary to earn the accolades worthy of a true champion dragon racer. Universal Orlando recently shared a look behind the scenes at construction for this new ride. Seems this one's going to have over-the-shoulder restraints while the arms holding the seats will lift up and swing around, sending you on an epic flight. This ride is also being designed with a Viking-made aesthetic with wood accents and hand-painted details. The minimum height requirement for this ride is going to be 48 inches. Now, we actually know more about the Untrainable Dragon show coming to Epic Universe because this one's directly inspired by Universal Beijing Resort's own Untrainable show. And I can just say that when I first saw footage of the Beijing version of this show, it was, honest to goodness, one of the first times where I thought about Epic Universe in a way that made me really say, wow, none of us are remotely prepared for how awesome this park is going to wind up being. Like, usually I'm over here talking about how Disney gives you those massive right in the feels moments, and I think the Untrainable Dragon is going to be able to compete with that level of Disney feels. This dragon-filled live spectacular takes guests on a, dare I say, epic journey with beloved characters like Hiccup and Toothless, Gobber, and Astrid as they work together to solve the mystery of, as the title says, the untrainable dragon. This heartwarming story comes to life with swelling musical numbers, over-the-top sets, and the coolest part of it all, life-size dragons soaring over your head. Something that I've really enjoyed seeing Epic Universe add more of so far are more options for the younger kids. I know Universal Studios Florida is currently working on adding more family-friendly options, especially with the recent Minions Land and the up-and-coming DreamWorks Land too, but it seems Epic Universe is really focused on building a park that's not just catering for thrill seekers, but also for families who need other options that are listed for all ages. This is why it's nice to see the concept art for the Viking training camp, where junior Vikings are going to learn everything they need to know about dragons as they climb and slide and explore their way through a sprawling interactive adventure play camp. This area will feature a Viking agility course, a Toothless-themed teeter-totter, baby Grunkle dragon climbers, and so much more. And if you want to meet the dynamic duo themselves, Hiccup and Toothless will be hanging out over at Haddock Paddock for a meet and greet experience and a super cool photo op. And no, we're not just talking about seeing Toothless's head poke out to interact with folks like Donkey used to do back in Universal Studios Florida. We're talking a full-bodied Toothless, a real-deal dragon before your very eyes. Throughout the day, you might also be able to encounter other familiar Vikings and dragons while exploring Berk, kind of like how Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios might have Rey or Kylo Ren or Mando or Chewbacca strolling around the premises. See? Told you the Isle of Berk sounds like its own theme park, and I haven't even gotten started on the food yet. Mead Hall will be the beating heart of Berk and the village's main gathering area, where guests can feast like a Viking and enjoy a savory menu featuring a variety of meats and fish, sandwiches, and more, along with a collection of meads and ciders. Yes, I'm very excited about mead and cider, and I'm very happy to tell you the difference between the two because, as you know, my side hobby is obsessing over medieval English podcasts. Anyway, meanwhile, Spitfire Grill will be overlooking the Fire Drill water attraction and providing quick service dining featuring hearty meals, flame seared by a helpful, unseen dragon fry cook. And then there's Hooligan's Grog and Gruel, where guests can grab quick bites at a festive racing-themed food stand located in the Viking camp. Anyone else just a little intimidated by the concept art for this one? No, just me? Okay, cool. And even though we don't have a ton of info about the gift shops in Isle of Berk just yet, we do know there's going to be 4 of them, including Viking Traders, How to Treat Your Dragon, Hiccup's Workshop, and Toothless's Treasures. Now, that's really funny because I actually come from a town that has a lot of Swedish immigrants, and there was actually a store called Viking Trader that my mom worked at. So, there we go, full circle. Now it's time to talk about the 3rd ever Super Nintendo World. First, Universal Studios Japan got it, then Universal Studios Hollywood, and now it's coming to the East Coast as well. Super Nintendo World will allow guests to enter the iconic green pipe once again to cross into the worlds of beloved video game characters like Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Donkey Kong. DK is going to be important here, so hold on to that thought. So I know Universal has mentioned that the portal is going to be like the traditional green warp pipe, which we've seen pop up for the Japan and Hollywood versions, but it's actually going to be a whole lot more like golden rimmed, keep up with the celestial theming and whatever. Now, just recently, we received a whole lot of specific details about this up and coming area that Universal has deemed as their most interactive, colorful world that they've ever created. That being said, we can still turn toward the Super Nintendo worlds that are already in existence to see some of the specifics of what we got to look forward to in this 3rd Nintendo World iteration, and what potential differences we're going to see between the pre-existing versions versus the Epic Universe version to be. Super Nintendo World is expected to have a very similar layout to what you find in the Hollywood and Japan versions, meaning you're going to feel like you've just stepped into the set of a Mario game, piranha plants and all. And that means you're going to be able to hit the Mario Kart tracks just like you can in the other 2 Nintendo Worlds too, through Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. This attraction is going to use practical sets and augmented reality via special glasses to bring guests directly onto the roads most traveled by, including that infamous Rainbow Road that's somehow still one of my favorite tracks to race on in the games, probably simply because it's called Rainbow Road. Towards the outskirts of Super Nintendo Land, you'll find an entrance to Donkey Kong Country. Told you he'd be important. He's got his own country, which is going to be a lush, tropical landscape with trees, waterfalls, the iconic Golden Temple, and look out, a new attraction called Minecart Madness. Thanks to aerial shots from reliable sources, we can actually see that track being built as we speak. Thank you, BioReconstruct. He's amazing if you want to follow him on Twitter. On this coaster, you'll board a minecart and ride through the jungle to help Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong protect the coveted golden banana. Universal is calling this a first-of-its-kind family coaster with innovative technology and a unique coaster design. Now, this revolutionary boom coaster-style ride will allegedly feature the illusion of jumping over sections of missing and broken tracks. So think the reverse concept of the sudden track drop you experience during the Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure Coaster in Islands of Adventure. But instead of dropping you, you'll be tossed into the air. Sounds terrifying and awesome. Judging by the aerial shots, we can already see a giant open barrel around the track that looks like it's the start of the launch area, which will send riders zooming up and into a temple-styled show building. On the ground, there are these open-mouthed pillars standing nearby the track on either side, which, rumor has it, may appear to fall on the track as we start hurtling toward them. Terrifying. Universal did emphasize that this would be a coaster with all practical sets and no screens, which is a big deal for them. We're excited to see how they pull this whole thing off, especially when it comes to jumping the tracks. But of course there is more. You will also be able to ride Yoshi's Adventure here. This is a family-friendly ride where you can enjoy special views of the land aboard your own Yoshi Dino as you travel through the Mushroom Kingdom in search of glowing eggs. We kind of already pieced this one together ourselves, even though Universal held on to this secret better than some of the other rides. While Yoshi's Adventure isn't in Hollywood, it is in Japan, and based on the aerial shots of Epic Universe's Super Nintendo World that we saw before this announcement happened, we could already see an Omnimover ride system being built over the park. Still kind of salty, we didn't hear anything about a Luigi's Mansion Dark ride, but whatever. I'll just keep dreaming about it, and maybe someday. In addition to the rides, the Super Nintendo World will feature meet and greets with Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad. We're also going to see Toadstool Cafe come to Epic Universe. Here you can try a variety of dishes inspired by Super Mario and his friends. So look out for Mario and Luigi themed burgers, Super Mushroom Soup, Piranha Plant Caprese, and Fire Flower Spaghetti and Meatballs. To be honest with you, the Toadstool Cafe may not be the best tasting theme park food we've ever bitten into when we tried it in Hollywood, but much like the Minion Cafe in Universal Studios Florida, it does a great job with its novelty food and drinks themed around the characters. Yoshi's Snack Island and Turbo Boost Treats will also offer up treats and snacks and beverages at a walk-up dining location inside this new area. While you're in Super Nintendo World, you can also have a little extra fun with a power-up band. This is what Universal calls a wearable for your wrist that allows you to enhance your play throughout Super Mario Land and Donkey Kong Country. Now, we've seen this special technology in use at Universal's other Super Nintendo Worlds, so we're not totally surprised to see it come to Orlando. Think of these bands kind of sort of like a Magic Band Plus that you get at Disney, but one that's way more limited and only works in the Super Nintendo area. And much like a Magic Band, these power-up bands are an extra cost, but are by no means required for you to purchase. They may enhance your experience in Nintendo World, but they aren't necessary in order to enjoy this area of the park. These power-ups let guests collect coins, unlock special areas, and compete in various mini-games that feature other Nintendo and Mario characters, including Koopa Troopas, Piranha Plants, Goombas, Thwomps, Bob-ombs, and Bowser Jr. Fun fact, the power-up bands used for Japan and Hollywood also connect with your Nintendo Switch back home. According to the Nintendo website, each power-up band can be used as an amiibo for its corresponding character. For example, the Mario power-up band functions in compatible titles as a Mario amiibo figure, so that might be something to look forward to as well when shopping for souvenirs in this area. It's not just a band that'll serve you in the park, but one that'll be functional after your vacation too. Speaking of souvenirs, Super Nintendo World will have a few places for you to shop. Inside the area, get ready to drop some coins at the 1UP Factory and Mario Motors, which will feature all kinds of exclusive souvenirs and apparel and toys. The Nintendo Superstar Store will also be another Mario and Friends-centered merch shop. However, this one won't be located in the Nintendo area. Weird, right? Guess they're running out of room over there. Instead, it'll be located in Celestial Park, and based on the concept art, this Superstar Store is going to be very classy and castle-like with stained glass windows featuring Mario characters, while also keeping up with the star/constellation themes surrounding Celestial Park. Slowly but surely, we've been getting big answers to our Epic Universe questions, but Universal sure knows how to pace out its announcements to keep us well-informed, yet still on the edge of our seats, hungry for more. For example, there's still so much we want to know about this Dark Universe area, since it already sounds completely different from the rest of the park. As Universal has explained so far, Dark Universe will be a portal where you can encounter everything from the experiments of Dr. Victoria Frankenstein to the shadowy landscape where monsters roam in a world of myth and mystery. Sounds spooky, but how spooky is this area actually going to be? Is it going to be like silly spooky, kind of like Spoopy with Magic Kingdom's Haunted Mansion ride? Or is it going to be seriously spooky like what we see happen at Universal Studios Florida during Halloween Horror Nights? Now, we know that they're actually building a Halloween Horror Nights dedicated park, like in Las Vegas, I think. So, like, they have the capability. Well, according to the president of Universal Creative, Dark Universe is going to be a world where Universal's classic monsters are reimagined in an ominous and chilling experience. The chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences also mentioned Universal's great history with horror when referring to this new Dark Universe area, which is giving us reason to believe that maybe, just maybe, this portal isn't going to be as family-friendly as some of the other areas located around the park. And judging by the concept art that we have of this area so far, which is basically just the entrance to it, I'd say nothing here is really screaming family-friendly at the moment. You got ominous dead trees, overgrown vines, a pulsing purple lightning rod jutting out of the top. Very much Dr. Frankenstein-esque, like the thing he used to bring his monster to life in the films. A ghoulish green glow illuminating the portal within, and if you look really closely, you'll see the quote around the archway which says, "It's alive! It's alive!" Another clear Frankenstein quote. Based on the aerial shots we've seen of Dark Universe so far, we're also starting to see some European-style grayscale buildings popping up in the background, along with scaling stone walls, which screams ominous village setting Dracula-esque to us. And that makes a lot of sense, considering the Universal movie monsters don't exactly come from a happy-go-lucky, colorful suburban neighborhood. Just to peer a little deeper into the Dark Universe area, it seems that we've also got a larger manor facade being built right now, which looks extremely similar to the one really quickly featured during Epic Universe's teaser video. The land's main attraction is reportedly going to be a massive dark ride set in a gigantic facade, which will utilize the Kuka arm ride system, that robo arm system that you'll experience when you ride Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey in Islands of Adventure. Now, what's this I see? Is that a roller coaster track? Sure is. This appears to be a spinning coaster that's currently being tested as we speak and is rumored to be called Curse of the Werewolf, though nothing's been confirmed by Universal at this time. I'd also say we need to be on the lookout for one or multiple buildings that could start taking on the shape of a gift shop or quick service, especially since Universal stripped us of the former Classic Monsters Cafe that used to be in the Universal Studios Florida park, but closed in 2022 and was replaced by the Minion Cafe. We have seen Universal previously file a trademark for the name Oddities and Monstrosities for retail store services featuring apparel, gifts, and general consumer merchandise, as well as online retail store services featuring apparel, gifts, and general consumer merchandise. So, though this isn't a confirmed name for a store in Dark Universe, it could very well be an indication of a store that might appear. Only time will tell. And then we have that final Epic Universe portal that I need to talk to y'all about, and that's the third Wizarding World land, which is going to be themed around Ministry of Magic. See that time turner right above the archway in the portal concept art? This represents how you'll be transporting into a different era of the Wizarding World. An era that blends 1920s Wizarding Paris from the Fantastic Beasts films with the iconic British Ministry of Magic from the Harry Potter series. While Universal hasn't talked much about this area at all yet, we can still start piecing together a few things just based on the recent aerial shot seen of this location and a few reported rumors as well. For instance, we're already seeing a bit of Parisian flair through the artwork advertisements painted on the sides of the buildings. Reportedly, guests will enter the lands through a recreation of the Port St. Denis Arch and find wizarding stores including shopping, sweets, and wands similar to those featured in the other lands, but with Parisian twists. We've also spied a huge mural of a griffin around building windows. Hello, it's a fantastic beast, with a nearby poster that advertises potions for sale. Wonder what kind of potions we'll be able to buy. Speaking of beasts, further rumors suggest magical creatures will be sprinkled around the land and will interact with guests' interactive wands. So I'm going to need to find my old interactive wand before this park opens, I guess. Further into the area, you can also see a brick building that's labeled as a hotel. Not another hotel you can actually stay in, but definitely something to add atmosphere to the land, though a Harry Potter themed resort would be awesome. And the land is also rumored to feature a large theater show with a circus tent facade similar to the one seen in the Fantastic Beasts films. The show will allegedly be called Le Cirque Arcanus, which might include wand duels and perhaps some audience interaction too. So far, the overall infrastructure definitely gives us Diagon Alley vibes, where the buildings surrounding you are massive and highly immersive. But other than that, there's still lots to learn about this new Harry Potter area, including if it's going to have some sort of Hogwarts Express train or not, though judging by the aerial shots we've seen so far, we're not seeing anything of the sort. Now, there will for sure be a main attraction in this third Wizarding World, but all we've heard about it so far from Universal representatives is that it exists. Everything else remains shrouded in mystery. Allegedly, though, this ride could transport guests from Paris to London through the Magical Floo Network transportation system. Once they arrive, they'll be whisked onto magic elevators, kind of like what you'll find in the Escape from Gringotts queue, I'm guessing, and led to the next generation of the Scoop ride vehicles, like the ones you board when you ride The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man in Islands of Adventure, or the Transformers ride at Universal Studios Florida. From there, the ride could be more of a VR adventure, with the main villain this time being Professor Dolores Umbridge. That would be amazing. But again, this is all could be's and might be's, and nothing is for certain. There's one thing we can say for certain, however, we are genuinely despondent that the Ministry of Magic portal is not a toilet. Epic Universe isn't called Epic for nothing. Along with all the new theme park areas, they will also open up 3 new hotels: Stella Nova, Terra Luna, and Helios. And guess what? We got some exact opening dates to go along with some of these, believe it or not. Universal Stella Nova Resort is set to open on January 21st, 2025, while Universal Terra Luna Resort will open on February 25th, 2025. The hotels will place guests in the center of marvelous galaxies and diverse planetary elements for an experience unlike anywhere else in the universe, complete with tranquil sleeping accommodations, love that, love a tranquil bed, entertaining amenities for the whole family to enjoy, various cosmic-inspired dining options, and more. That's all Universal's language. Together, the hotels are going to offer 1,500 ultra-modern rooms with rates starting at $147 per night plus tax based on a stay of 4 nights or more. Previously, we had checked the Lowe's website for rates, which showed starting rates of $189 per night for Universal Stella Nova Resort and $210 for Universal Terra Luna. So it looks like there might be some more cheaper options available here. Not too shabby, though, for a brand new hotel area. Universal released a concept art video for these new hotels, and they're kind of giving me mixed signals right now. Like, the outside almost looks like a splash of retro tie-dye, but the inside looks very sleek and galactic. I don't know how I feel about that combo yet. I think I like it, but I have to see it in person to really get a good opinion of it one way or another. At either rate, the video also gives us quick glimpses into the eateries you can find in both resorts, like Cosmos Cafe and Market at Stella Nova and Omega Cafe and Market at Terra Luna, which are quick service locations with a selection of grab-and-go items. Galaxy Bar and Galaxy Grill at Stella Nova and Moonrise Bar and Moonrise Grill at Terra Luna are places where guests can grab drinks and dine on options like burgers, quesadillas, and salads. And Nova Bar at Stella Nova, as well as Luna Bar at Terra Luna, will be lobby bars serving up specialty cocktails. Both hotels will also feature pools, fitness centers, game rooms, recreation rooms, Universal stores, as well as convenient hotel guest perks, like early park admission to Universal Volcano Bay and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter areas, and complimentary shuttle buses to the theme parks and Universal City Walk. And then there's the big hotel coming to Epic Universe, the Helios Grand Hotel, which will be the first of its kind for the Universal parks. What sets this one apart from all the rest? Helios will open up straight into the Epic Universe park, right into Celestial Park. Universal has confirmed that this hotel will have a very Mediterranean-like feel to it, with more than 500 rooms available to book. And the hotel is situated between Dark Universe and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. So don't expect this one to open up before Epic Universe does, like the other two hotels. We don't know as much about the Helios Hotel yet, but thanks to aerial shots of the construction, we've got to see some sneak peeks of what's going on so far, just to see how things are shaping up. The pool will likely be on the back side of the hotel, facing away from the park, since the concrete seems to have been poured for it already. Taking a closer look at the building itself, it appears more windows have been added to the ballroom, and that the area to the left of the ballroom may be an outdoor area. And on top of the hotel, we've also got a new decorative element added too. Looking good, Helios. So now's the part where I hand the sleuthing off to you. What else do you think Universal hasn't revealed about Epic Universe yet that you sure hope they do? What did you see in the concept art feature today that you think may be a clue to something else that we don't know about yet? And most importantly, what are you looking forward to experiencing the most in this third Universal gate? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to keep checking back here with us to learn more about the latest Epic Universe updates as they're announced. Also, be sure to join our newsletter, because every time Universal does one of those big drops about another one of these portals, we get it out to you ASAP. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.